Donald Trump has announced that there are currently ongoing investigations into the far left to stamp out, I guess, what he views as an extremist ideology in this country, right? Such an extremist ideology that wants you to have health care, that wants you to not go bankrupt from your medical bills. An extremist ideology that says, let's not poison the planet and thereby poison ourselves. An extremist ideology that says you shouldn't have to go into debt to get a higher education. An extremist ideology that says, let's take care of one another. Billionaires can pay a little more in taxes. That is apparently too extreme for Donald Trump and the right, who continue to blame us for what happened last week, even though it wasn't a person on the left. They're bending over backwards right now to convince you it was like, oh, well, he was living with a transgendered individual. We think they were romantically linked. We're still not sure, so we're going to keep spouting bullshit and hope that everybody buys into it. And yes, for the record, Spencer Cox, the governor of Utah, after coming out and crying because we didn't think it would be one of us. Oh, he then the next day went on Fox News and basically said like, no, he's got a transgender lover. And so, yeah, it's totally their fault. Total BS, but whatever. Now, Trump announced, again, this was after we learned the real identity of the shooter, his real ideology, far right, further right than Charlie Kirk. Trump said this: if you look at the problem is on the left. It's not on the right. When you look at the agitators, you look at the scum that speaks so badly of our country, the American flag burnings all over the place. That's the left. That's not the right. We'll be announcing they're already under major investigation. A lot of the people that you would traditionally say are on the left are already under investigation. We don't like that. He was then asked, of course, about revoking visas for foreigners if they've, mocked Charlie Kirk online. He said, we don't like that. That's not right. We wouldn't celebrate if something happened on their side, and we don't. These are sick people. These are really deranged people. So notice all the names that he calls people on the left: sick, deranged, scum. And of course, he always calls us communists. They always try to use socialists like it's a bad word. They've called us terrorists, which Stephen Miller also did, and I'll get to that in a second. But all of this name calling, low IQ. And at the same time, he's like, but it's the left that is filled with hate. Many years ago, a good friend of mine, a progressive talker at the time, really smart guy, David Bender, he had us pull a clip for a segment he was doing. And it was a clip from the old, 1960s Batman. It's the one where the Penguin's running for office, for mayor, and Batman decides to run against him, and they're doing a debate. And the Penguin goes out there and dupes the crowd, and he's like, I will not be engaging in any mudslinging in this debate or this campaign. And if there is any mudslinging, it'll be my opponent who slings it. Right? So trying to convince you, like, I'm not going to do anything bad. And then he does the bad thing by saying the other guy's gonna do the bad thing. That's exactly what Trump is here. He's the frickin' Penguin. He's Burgess Meredith. All he needs is the little monocle and the cigarette on the cigarette holder thing and go, wah, 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 wah. That's who he is. I will not sling any mud. And if any mud is slung, it will be from the other side, the sick, deranged scum. Like, I hope people understand what he is doing, but at the same time, we cannot write off the fact that he says we're under investigation. He didn't specifically say who on the left. Perhaps it's Midas Touch. Perhaps it's David Pakman. Perhaps it's Crystal Ball and Kyle Kalinske. Maybe it's Sam Cedar and Emma Vigland. Maybe it's Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian. Maybe it's John Idarala. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's any or all of us. We don't know. Maybe it's just George Soros, right? Whatever it is, this is a threat to our very existence. Because right after, when this happened on Wednesday, Trump comes out, does his address. He put a target on the backs of all of us. Incorrectly, I might add, because, hey, it wasn't anybody on the left. And even if it were, we didn't do it. So we shouldn't have had any of that. But the point is, He put the target on us, and even though he knows the target does not belong here, he's going to keep it there. Stephen Miller, as I mentioned, went even further. Stephen Miller said during an interview on Fox News, again after we learned the real identity of the killer, he claimed the left was waging doxing campaigns against right-wing figures, though he cited no specific examples. He called the left a domestic terrorism movement in this country. That is a direct quote. And again, about the whole doxing thing, you guys are the ones, Pete Hegseth came out and told the military, go scrub the social media sites of any members of the military, tell me who's mocking Charlie Kirk so I can get rid of them. You guys are the ones who have created these tip lines and whatnot to turn in people who are mocking Charlie Kirk to get them fired from their jobs. We're not doxing anybody, but y'all are actively engaging in the campaign. And again, I'm going to accuse the other side of doing what I'm actually doing at the moment, which they actively are. Miller continued. He said, the left calls people enemies of the Republic. No, we fucking don't. That's not a phrase that comes out of us. Trump, on the other hand, says these people are the enemy of the country. These people are the enemy of the state. They're enemies of the Republic. He uses that phrase. I have not seen anybody on the left actually use that phrase. Trump does, your boss does, when talking about us, when talking about the media, the enemy of the people. And he continues, calls them fascists, says they're Nazis, says they're evil. Trump does that every day to the left. You folks do that every day on the right. You say that we're sick individuals. You've called us groomers. You've called us pedophiles. No evidence to back any of it up. All the evidence points to actually it's been a bunch of right-wingers doing that. Once again, folks, it's misdirection and lies. Everybody focus your anger over here on the left so you're not focusing on the horrible things that we're actually doing on the right. And the actual things we're doing on the right, we're going to accuse the left of doing. He just did it. He's like, they call us Nazis. You just called us terrorists, which is a legal designation that now can get you arrested by Marco Rubio. He then said, the last message that Charlie Kirk gave to me before he joined his creator in heaven, that we have to dismantle and take on the radical left organizations in this country that are fomenting violence, and we are going to do that under President Trump's leadership. I don't care how. It could be a RICO charge, a conspiracy charge, conspiracy against the United States, insurrection, but we are going to do what it takes to dismantle the organizations and the entities that are fomenting riots, that are doxing, that are trying to inspire terrorism, that are committing acts of wanton violence. Literally none of that has happened, of course. Your side, your people, are the ones who stormed the Capitol, did a literal insurrection. We are protected by the Constitution, or at least at one point we were. Clearly we're not anymore. But they're coming after all of us. In spite of all the information that they have, they're still pushing the lies that somehow the left's rhetoric, which is nowhere near the level of vitriolic as you get on the right, the left is somehow responsible. Anybody who tells you the left is responsible for this is not smart enough to be talking about politics these days. If anybody tells you the left did this, they are not a person you should trust, and they're damn sure not a person that you ever need to be associated with. They're lying to you to push an agenda when all the facts are out there right now showing that none of that is anywhere close to reality. Thanks for watching, everyone. We're inching closer and closer to 1 million subscribers, and we're aiming to hit that goal before the year closes. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please do so, and don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thanks for joining us as we head towards this huge milestone.